why don't we just take just a moment to quiet ourselves as we prepare to go into this momentous service. And as we prepare, let's acknowledge that we are meeting here where I am on the traditional, ancestral, unceded territories of First Nations and Native American people. Here in Vancouver, these people are the Musqueam, Tsleil-Waututh, and Squamish nations. But I know that where many of you are on the land of other nations. Always, but especially during this time, let us remember our connection to our siblings in these nations and pray for the day in which we might be with them in right relationship.
Amen to that.
Welcome. Welcome to Living Interfaith. Know that the whole of you is welcome. You are not asked to leave who you are there in your own home behind your Zoom lens. Please bring who you are in with you into this welcoming community today. But what we are all asked to remember is that the others who are here have brought who they are in to this community as well. And all of goodwill are welcome.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, open your hearts to the lovers of living. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, open your hearts to the lovers of living. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
We're now at the part of our service where we do announcements, and I will begin. The Vancouver School of Theology's annual Interreligious Studies Conference will be taking place next week from the evening of Tuesday, May 24th through Thursday, May 26th. It will be both online and in a hybrid format, so everyone who is interested will be able to join. The keynote address will be the first night, and it's free. It'll be given by Reverend Dr. Randy Woodley from the Kitoa Nation and will be about the indigenous vision for creation and community. If you just want to register for that, you can sign up. It should be in your order of service, the link. Alternately, the rest of the conference will take place over the next 2 days and will feature workshops by Seth Klein, who's the author of A Good War about fighting to address climate change, and Reverend Christine Boyle, a Vancouver City Councillor and founder of Fossil Free Faith. There will also be multicultural panel discussions on different responses to climate and roughly 40 other talks from scholars and activists about what we can be doing to heal the planet now. For more details or to sign up for the full conference, the link should be in the order of service. And are there any other announcements?
Hi, this is an announcement from Dora Lee. I'm the president of the Council of the Living Interfaith Sanctuary, and next service on the 4th of June, we'll be having our annual council meeting, and we invite anybody who would like to stay behind after our council or after our regular service to participate, and we'll be going through the usual annual reflection on the sanctuary's service and purposes and funds and budgeting, and we'll be doing elections, all these kind of usual things. So feel free to join us next service, after next service. Thank you.
Let us pray our opening prayer. In the market, in the cloister, only God I saw. In the valley and on the mountain, only God I saw. God I have seen beside me oft in tribulation, in favor and in fortune, only God I saw. In prayer and fasting, in praise and contemplation, in the religion of the prophets, only God I saw. Neither soul nor body, accident nor substance, quality nor causes, only God I saw. I opened mine eyes, and by the light of God's face around me, in all the eye discovered, only God I saw. Like a candle, I was melting in divine fire, amidst the flames outflashing, only God I saw. Myself with mine own eyes I saw most clearly, but when I looked with God's eyes, only God I saw. I passed away into nothingness, I vanished, and lo, I was the all-living, only God I saw.
I'm hoping the candles will magically light as I speak. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all never be separated from the sacred happiness which is sorrowless. And may all living in equanimity without too much attachment or too much aversion, and live believing in the equality of all that lives. Amen.
And now is the time of the passing of our peace. Please unmute yourselves. Peace be unto all.
Peace to all of you.
Peace be to you.
Assalamu alaikum. Shalom.
Everyone.
Peace be with you all.
Peace be with you.
Friend Cathy.
Shalom
Shalom.
Peace
Peace.
and
and wholeness
Peace and love to you
and
all.
health.
Allahu
Peace
Akbar.
to
you all.
And may this
to
service
all.
help bring more peace to all the world.
Peace, shalom to you all.
Salam. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum,
Please mute yourselves, but also join with me in our joint affirmation. And since I'm allowed to do this today, a quick editorial comment. We say this every time we get together, but if it becomes rote, if it can become something we just say, we lose the meaning. May we take this into our hearts. May we make this a part of who we are. And may we spread this love. We come together in peace. We sing together in joy and with love. We worship together in one house, a house with names beyond number. Our paths are many. Our beliefs are as leaves. And the tree that we cleave to is nourished by the light of compassion, justice, and mutual respect. May our lives, our beliefs, and our actions help to bring about the world of love we all seek. And let it begin here.
Now is our time of praying for guidance from the Spirit. Now is when we take some time to pray in our own homes and in our own ways for whatever we feel is most needed in the world. As always, there are so many things we can and should be praying for, but I think this morning it makes sense for us to take some time to pray for guidance from the Divine Spirit, that we all might be able to quiet our minds and open ourselves up to receiving it, so that God might live and speak through us all, clergy and lay people alike. Let's take some time now to pray for divine guidance.
Hey, ya, hey, yo. We are all one people. We are all one nation. We are all one color. If we try.
Now is when Cathy usually says, and I'm speaking for her, poor Cathy, I'm sorry, that she usually would pass around the basket if we were meeting in person, but you may have noticed we're not. We're meeting virtually. So she would now put on our donation page in the chat, and it reads here, so many of you have already donated so much to help and support our wonderful community. Thank you for all you do. But remember that this is always ongoing. Please, this is not something that stops after 1 or 2 or 10 donations. This is an ongoing effort that would ask us to be ongoing in our support. End of editorial comment. And if you have any additional money at this time that you'd be able to donate, please, please don't forget Doctors Without Borders, who have done such important work in the world. There is so much hurt. There is so much illness. There is so much need. And please don't forget them, Doctors Without Borders. And if there's another group that you'd like to bring to our attention, this is that moment. So please, do bring to our attention another group that you think might well need our support right at this moment, if we can. Okay, hearing none, before I turn it back over, a quick mention that if you have any ability to, and there are a slew of them, and I don't have them at my fingertips, but in Canada, there was quite a bit of talk about what happened to the Native American children, and it didn't get a whole lot of publicity, but just recently it's been in the United States as well, the number of children lost. If we could think of our Native American brothers and sisters, or Native Canadian brothers and sisters, our Indigenous brothers and sisters, let's use that, they could use our support as well. And so can the families in Black communities who are suffering this. There's so much need, and there's only so much we can do, and we need to understand that. But please let us remember our brothers and sisters in need as we can. And I will now shut up. Thank you.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this
The moment I remember that Cathy and I, at least from my perspective, became friends occurred on a crowded number 84 bus departing from the University of British Columbia at the end of a long day of classes together at the Vancouver School of Theology. This was roughly 5 years ago, and it's where she and I engaged in our first of many in-depth personal one-on-one conversations. Now, how do I say this? Making small talk is not a skill that Cathy excels in, a trait we both share. So our conversation got very real very fast. And despite the press of undergraduates and commuting faculty members crowding in all around us on that bus, we shared heartfelt details of our family histories and aspects of our stories that had brought us both to the Vancouver School of Theology, and although unknown to me at the time, into the same graduating class. She and I have both lived in Israel, Palestine, albeit at periods separated by decades of time. And among the many concerns we share are praying for and working toward positive outcomes for the Palestinians and Israelis who oppose the military occupation and desire a peaceful future in the lands that so many of us consider sacred. To put this differently and into a larger context, Cathy is dedicated to the belief that our world and the people in it can be transformed and made into better versions of ourselves, and thereby bring about a more just and loving society and world. To this end, Cathy, at an astonishingly young age, took on the enormous challenge of fostering conversations between Israelis and Palestinians in the disputed territories of Israel, Palestine. That she did this, and I will say again, at such a young age, impressed me hugely that day, and it still does. Cathy, you continue to impress me in so many ways. You possess qualities, wisdom, humor, intelligence, insight, imagination, and much more that make you so qualified for this ministry you have formed from the ground up and are bringing forward into the future. These qualities are evident not only in the work you've done in conflict resolution in the Middle East, but also in your ongoing work in compassionate listening training and interfaith engagement here in Vancouver. The Living Interfaith Sanctuary is living proof of your good works in the world, and that you founded this community in a city where you were a newcomer while raising two wonderful young children, earning an MDiv in a rigorous academic program. And if all this were not enough, coping with an unprecedented pandemic is truly impressive. Cathy, you hold this community together. You inspire it with your love, enthusiasm, and dreams of a better world. That's been evident from the sharing that we've had just for a few minutes here. And you have not only sustained it during a very difficult period, but actually expanded it while many spiritual communities have been losing members and losing ground. I'm so honored to be part of this Living Interfaith Sanctuary, to play a small part in the realization of one of your dreams, and most of all, to call myself your friend.
From the first time I met Cathy, her passion for interfaith is evident in all that she does, from the activities she participates in to the books she reads and the talks she gives. Cathy demonstrates her devotion to equality, her desire for peace and understanding among people, and her love for this human race and for creation. Leading Living Interfaith Sanctuary and assisting Stephen at Living Interfaith Church have been important ways that Cathy has shown her commitment to interfaith. But she's been doing interfaith for much longer. Cathy has never just talked the talk, but she walks the walk. Interfaith is who she is. It is such an ingrained part of her being. You can't separate the two. Interfaith is her way of life and how she chooses to live her life. Cathy, on this day, your ordination, this is another milestone on this journey you're on, but certainly not the last one. This is the beginning of a new chapter in your amazing life. You are no longer a student in a master's program, but you are no less the student. You will continue to grow and learn and evolve on your journey, and you will achieve beautiful things along the way, and most likely some heartbreak. But through it all, you will always be that champion of equality, of compassion, and of love for each other. It is my honor to walk aside you on this journey, and I can't wait to see all that lies ahead for you as a minister, as a mother, and an incredible woman and champion for all that you believe in. Blessings to you, Cathy, as you start this new step on your journey.
I had the joy of meeting Cathy as Living Interfaith was being formed. Seems like an eon ago. Maybe it's only about 15 years now. But she became a part of Living Interfaith, and then this is going to be a surprise to so many people. Cathy overbooks herself all the time. And she had to leave Living Interfaith for a while to take care of other things in her life. Imagine that. But then returned to Living Interfaith and was diligently a member and very active. And it was my joy and blessing to see in her someone who could do ministry. And I suggested to her that this might be a good path for her. And happily, she didn't throw anything at me. I was so relieved. And once she took on the idea of ministry, she and I studied together, and I tried to lead her on a path towards understanding what interfaith ministry might entail. And somehow that wasn't enough. And she moved to Canada, and even after studying with me, found the need. Can you imagine that? The need to go to VST and get an MDiv, which she has now received with much congratulations and hard work and good stuff. So one more step on the interfaith road. Excuse me. What Cathy understood, excuse me. See, you're such an influence. I may be losing my voice now, Cathy. What she understood, has always understood, is that we are a family, a human family. And brothers and sisters are not alike. If you have brothers and sisters, you know that. We are different, we are diverse, we disagree, we sometimes get upset with each other, but we are brothers and sisters, we are a family. And this is what Cathy has understood from the beginning. And this is what has led Cathy not only to Israel, Palestine, to compassionate listening, and to interfaith. And God bless you, my friend. Someday you're going to need to realize you can only do 15 things at once. So stop trying to do 16. But in the meantime, love, admiration, and a true joy in passing the torch. Bless you in all that you do. And a virtual hug.
Catherine Keen Merchant, you are called among us to a ministry of love and of leadership in the interfaith community and among all peoples of all faiths. Do you accept this ministry and its responsibilities to all who live and to future generations who look to us so that they might live in peace and with the brotherhood and sisterhood that all our faiths have taught us.
And you, members and friends of the Living Interfaith Sanctuary, pledge yourselves to walk with Cathy in unity of spirit, in the bond of peace, and in all the ways of truth, of love, and of mutual respect.
We do.
We do.
We do.
We do.
We do.
Do.
We do.
I do.
I do.
I do.
We do. We do.
Wholeheartedly.
Uh-oh, Cathy, you need to unmute.
Okay, I'm going to start over. Catherine Keen Merchant.
Just do it with mine. Mute yours. It's okay.
I think I do. No, keep unmuted. Okay. Catherine Keen Merchant, we invite you to ordination as minister in this community. We would have you preach the word of love in freedom and with respect. Are you prepared to accept the responsibilities and the love entrusted to you?
Then take up the ministry to which you are ordained.
Then take up the ministry to which you are ordained.
Then take up the ministry to which you are ordained.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I'm so grateful to all of you. Thank you. And when you're ready, Bruce and Cheryl will sing.
This is a request from Cathy herself. I who made the sea and the sky, I have heard my people cry. All who dwell in deepest sin, my hand will save. I who made the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? snow and rain. I have borne my people's pain. I have wept for love of them. They turn away. I will break their hearts of stone, give them hearts for love alone. I will speak my word to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart. I who made the wind and flame, I will tend the poor and lame. I will set a feast for them. My hand will save. Finest bread I will provide, till their hearts be satisfied. I will give my life to them. Whom shall I send? Here I am, Lord. Is it I, Lord? I have heard you calling in the night. I will go, Lord, if you lead me. I will hold your people in my heart.
Step by step, we move through life. May we move through our lives cognizant of those around us, of our brothers and sisters who need our help, who ask our love, and who wish to join with us. May we understand that compassion and love knows no one spiritual path, knows no one race, no one ethnicity, no one gender or color. We are one family as we come together to join with Catherine Keene Merchant on her journey. May we be cognizant that if we simply follow along, it's not enough. All of us need to help each other. We all need to understand none of us is in this alone. None of us can succeed alone, but together we can heal a world in hurt. Together, we can show that love can and will triumph in the end, though the end is hard to see at this moment. May we come together with love, understanding the wonderful soul who we hold high this morning, who we enjoy sharing this life with and this journey with. And may we all reassure her and ourselves that no one walks alone. No one walks alone. And may we commit ourselves on this special day to walk with this special person with joy and love and support. For you, Catherine Keen Merchant, and to all the world, love. Amen.
Amen.
May it be so.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. This was so beautiful. It's a good thing I couldn't talk, because then I got to listen. And it was just so beautiful. And I was like teary the entire time. So thank you. Such a blessing. I love you all so much.